Go first with too many hands today. Let's go with Huma first.
So I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Financial Express. My question is that there have been attacks on the Unfil by the Israeli forces. So what is India? Has India had a conversation with the Israelis on this? And what is the plan?
Ayushi?
So good afternoon. This is Ayush Agarwal from ANI. So we have seen statements coming in from five countries, US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, on Trudeau's allegation. My question is, have we reached out to these countries on the whole issue, especially after Trudeau admitting that his government had no concrete evidence against his allegation?
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. Prime Minister Trudeau has said that the Indian High Commission and the diplomats were actually sent away from Canada, whereas the Indian side has said that we withdrew them. What actually happened? And where do you see this whole row going further?
Santosh?
सर नमस्कार, मैं संतोष ठाकुर हूँ नवभारत से। मैं सर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आज एक फैसला है एनआरसी असम को लेकर कि 1971 की कट ऑफ है, तो जो लोग सर इनलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स होंगे क्या उनको बांग्लादेश भेजेंगे या क्या करेंगे उन लोगों का जब वो इंडियन सिटीजन नहीं रहेंगे? थैंक यू।
Reza
from the Hindustan Times. There are reports suggesting that India and Pakistan are close to resuming cricket ties. Is that an accurate reflection of the actual position? Did cricket even figure in any conversations between the two ministers?
Okay, let me take these questions and then Huma, first to your question regarding UNIFIL. We had issued a statement about the situation and development in southern Lebanon. We had post those developments, we had said that we take safety of our peacekeepers very seriously, and we had called for that all action must be taken for the maintenance of the safety of UNIFIL premises and so on and so forth. We have also called for, as I told you, safety of our peacekeepers. There were some reports about some skin rashes, some people getting, the peacekeepers who were impacted, getting some skin rashes, etc. On that, UNIFIL has issued a statement. They have not shared any report with us. But to let you know that in that particular zone, we didn't have any of our Indian troops, but we continue to call for safety of our troops. Ayushi, regarding a question on the comments made by several countries, I would like to say that, we have made our position very clear on this particular matter. You would have seen that several press releases have been issued in the last 2 days, putting out our position, which we are very clear that since September of 2023, the Canadian government has not shared any shred of information with us. Yesterday, again, after the public inquiry, public hearing, we had again issued a statement saying that Canada has leveled serious allegations, but has so far not given any evidence to back it up. Regarding your question on the comments made, I would allude to the comments made by the State Department. We would say that as far as the allegations are concerned, PM Trudeau's own admission yesterday would indicate the value. As regards our stance on the allegations, we will naturally reject false imputations against our diplomats. Yeshi, regarding a question, you would have seen we had summoned the Acting High Commissioner of Canada, and thereafter conveyed that we had no faith that the Canadian government will look after the safety of our diplomats, and therefore we had taken a decision to withdraw. Our High Commissioner and along with him, 5 other diplomats. Subsequent to that, we saw that there was a communication from the Canadian side asking them to leave. But we had withdrawn our diplomats before their decision. On your question as to where we see this particular relationship going, well, to tell you very frankly, India-Canada ties, economic ties, are very strong and vibrant. We have a lot of Canadian pension funds who are invested here. We have a large Indian diaspora in Canada, which is the bridge through which we maintain very strong people-to-people links with Canada. We have a large, possibly the largest cohort of international students in Canada as well. We hope, this particular crisis has been precipitated by Trudeau government's baseless allegations. We hope, so that is how we look at the issue that you raised, how we see the relationship going forward. And let me tell you also, Canada is a major beneficiary of all these linkages, strong linkages that we have. संतोष, आपके सुप्रीम कोर्ट के मामले के बारे में मैंने नहीं देखा है कि उन्होंने क्या कहा, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो मामला होता है तो वो लीगल मामला होता है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट उच्च न्यायालय के मामले में टिप्पणी करना ठीक नहीं होता है. वो जो उनका मान है, जो वो जिस प्रकार का मामला बाहर, जैसे उस मामले में सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो राय है उसको माना जाएगा. Reza, on your question, whether any conversation regarding cricket happened or not, I would say nothing of that sort happened. Shall we go forward? And the reports that you saw were not accurate also. Aditya?
Mr. Jaiswal, I have 2 questions related. One is on TVI Network yesterday broke a story about Lawrence Bishnoi and his gang members in Canada, the details of which we believe have been shared with the Canadian side over the last 3 years. Could you please share details of how many extradition requests have gone out from India to Canada in the last 3 years, and whether there's been any positive response? Because Justin Trudeau yesterday mentioned about Lawrence Bishnoi and said that we are taking action. Secondly, we've also seen attacks on journalists taking place in Canada. We've seen Rishi Nagar, a journalist, being attacked in Calgary in a Gurudwara by Khalistani radicals. We, in the past, have seen attacks on Sameer Kaushal and Deepak Punj as well. How do you react to these attacks on Canadian journalists of Indian origin, and what does this say about the freedom of expression in Canada? Thank you.
Okay. Ajay?
Hi, Ajay Banerjee from the Tribune. Sir, the US State Department last night issued a statement that one of the Indian government officials has been removed from service of the Indian government. Could you please clarify who the official is? Can you name? Is it the same person named as CC1 in the Department of Justice indictment?
Okay. Please.
Hi there, Salima Shivji from CBC News. So you say on the Indian side that there is no clear evidence that has been presented by Canadian authorities, but Canada's RCMP and other authorities have said that they have presented detailed evidence in meetings with top Indian officials. So how do you explain that disconnect and the wildly different stories from each side? And as well, with this entire dispute sort of being disputed in public with some bitter statements on each side, do you think that is the correct way to dial down the tensions in this relationship?
Okay. Pranay?
सर, प्रणय उपाध्याय, अमर उजाला से. मेरे 2 सवाल हैं. पहला सवाल तो इस चीज़ को लेकर है कि कनाडा के साथ में कितनी एक्सट्रेडिशन रिक्वेस्ट हमारी पेंडिंग है, और खासतौर पर हरदीप सिंह निज्जर समेत कितनी एक्सट्रेडिशन रिक्वेस्ट पेंडिंग है, उस पर अभी तक क्या रिस्पॉन्स रहा है. दूसरा सवाल इस चीज़ को लेकर है कि 6 महीने पहले कनाडा सरकार की तरफ से कहा गया था, आरसीएमपी की तरफ से, कि 4 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है जिनकी आइडेंटिटी इंडियन बताई गई थी. क्या इन इंडियंस के लिए भारत के काउंसुलेट ने कोई काउंसलर एक्सेस मांगा था? अगर मांगा था तो उनसे जानकारी में क्या हासिल हुआ है? क्या वो भारतीय नागरिक हैं?
Okay, Samira.
Samir Hussain, BBC News. Will you release the names of the diplomats that India says that they have brought back to India, the Canadian diplomats. India has released the names of the Canadian diplomats that were expelled from the country. So wondering if the same will happen. And also to follow up on Salima's question about the detail, about the several meetings that the RCMP has said that they have had and that India has been presented with this evidence. I mean, the most recent meeting was a meeting in Singapore that is widely reported. And that meeting went on for several hours, much longer than was originally anticipated. I'm wondering what was actually discussed in that meeting if you were not presented with any evidence.
Okay. So first, Aditya, to your question on extradition request and Lawrence Bishnoi gang. So as far as my information is concerned, there are 26 extradition requests pending with the Canadian side. These are over the last decade or more. Along with it, there are several provisional arrest requests which are also pending with the Canadian side of several criminals. Some of the notable ones who've been charged with terror and related crimes, I would like to name them. They are Gurjeet Singh, Gurjinder Singh, Gurpreet Singh, Lakhbir Singh Landa, and Arshdeep Singh Gill. They are wanted in terror charges, as I told you, and also some related charges. We have shared security-related information with the Canadian government regarding gang members, including those of Lawrence Bishnoi gang, and requested them to arrest them and or to take due action as per law. So far, while we have exchanged and given these information, so far no action has been taken by the Canadian side on our request. This is very serious. Also, I would like to say that we find it really strange that now the people who we asked to be deported, on whom we asked that action be taken, we are being told that they are the ones, or RCMP is blaming Indian side that these people are committing crimes in Canada for which you are to be blamed. So this is a contradiction in terms which we don't understand. I just have here, there are several people, but for the sake of brevity, I would like to outline what I just informed you. The notable ones are Gurjeet Singh, Gurjinder Singh, Gurpreet Singh, Lakhbir Singh Landa, and Arshdeep Singh Gill. Aditya, you also had a question regarding intimidation. The Indian origin journalists who are being intimidated in Canada, and several of these instances have come to light in the recent past. I would only like to say that these are clear examples of intimidation and violence by those who openly espouse extremist and separatist ideology. It is also an example, or these are also examples of what afflicts Canada today and which reveals the sources of violence. Shifting the blame to India does not work in any manner. Ajay, you had a question regarding the US State Department informing us that the individual who was named in the Justice Department indictment is no longer an employee of the government of India. Yes, I confirm that he's no longer an employee of the government of India. Question on CBC. See, we have made our position very clear that serious charges have been leveled against us. But so far, as we said in a press release a few days back, and it was reiterated yet again yesterday or today morning, earlier hours this morning, so far Canada has not given any evidence in support of the very serious allegations that they've leveled against India and against Indian diplomats. We also see there is a pattern. The pattern is motivated by political considerations on the part of the Canadian Trudeau government. And there is also, as we have said, there's a clear pattern to smear India for reasons best known to them. you would have, I would also like to tell you that please look at several of these statements, that it's a very detailed statements that we've released, giving exactly what our position is, why we think that these are politically motivated, and why we think that these allegations are baseless. प्रणय, प्रत्यर्पण को लेके मैंने बताया जैसे कि 26 एक्स्ट्रेडिशन केसेस पेंडिंग हैं. उन 26 के अलावे प्रोविजनल अरेस्ट की इंफॉर्मेशन जो हम लोग म्यूचुअल लीगल असिस्टेंस ट्रीटी के तहत मांगते हैं, उसमें भी कई एक सारे मामले वहाँ पर कनाडा में पेंडिंग हैं. और जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि 5 लोग, अपराधी लोग जो जिनके खिलाफ हम लोगों ने मांगा है, भगौड़े हैं, मांगा है कि इनका एक्स्ट्रेडिशन होना चाहिए, प्रत्यर्पण होना चाहिए. उनका नाम मैंने लिया आपके लिए: गुरजीत सिंह, गुरजिंदर सिंह, गुरप्रीत सिंह, लखबीर सिंह लंडा और अर्शदीप सिंह गिल. इसमें से वो भी लोग हैं जो ये जो गैंग्स हैं, लॉरेंस बिश्नोई गैंग हो अथवा कोई और गैंग है, उसके भी मेंबर्स इसमें शामिल हैं. जहाँ तक जो गिरफ्तारी की बात की आपने, काउंसलर एक्सेस की बात की, काउंसलर एक्सेस जैसे मैंने पहले बताया था कि हम लोगों को अभी काउंसलर एक्सेस हमने मांगा नहीं है, उनकी तरफ से रिक्वेस्ट आता है तो फिर दिया जाता है, काउंसलर एक्सेस लिया जाता है.
मांगा था और उस केस में क्या हुआ था? कितनी बार हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया था हरदीप सिंह निज्जर के प्रत्यर्पण को लेकर?
हरदीप सिंह निज्जर प्रत्यर्पण वाले सूची में नहीं है, किसी और मामले में उस पर उन पे चार्जेस लगे होंगे. प्रत्यर्पण के सूची में हरदीप सिंह. Samira, your question regarding the diplomats, Indian diplomats who will be coming back from Canada. We have our High Commissioner. Along with him, there are 5 other diplomats who will be returning. The Canadian government has said that they should return by 19th of October, 11:59 p.m. For various reasons, we don't want to reveal their names to you. Also regarding the Singapore meeting, yes, the Singapore meeting, yes, had happened, and some exchanges had taken place. I don't have anything further to share about that particular meeting. Sudhi?
Sir, Shruti Ranjan from Bloomberg. So adding on to Ajay's question, if you could give us an understanding as to who the Indian official, India has sacked, and can you confirm or deny, is it, following the investigation on the thwarted, assassination attempt on Panun? Also, could you give us an understanding as to who has gone to the United States, in this regard? What is the level of officers? What is the kind of information that is being exchanged with the United States?
Siddhant.
So Siddhant from Vion. During the EM's visit to Islamabad, we saw a lot of ex-foreign ministers, the foreign ministers and politicians, the ex-foreign minister Bilawal Bhutto, commenting on talks with India. They're saying that India should talk. What is the current view of the Indian government? Any plans to have conversation? Do you see the EM's visit opening a window of opportunity for talks between Pakistan and India?
सर के एम शर्मा भारत एक्सप्रेस से यूएस का एक स्टेटमेंट आया है कि इंडिया शुड टेक द एलिगेशन ऑफ कनाडा वेरी सीरियसली. इसका सर क्या मतलब?
मधु.
सर मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से. मेरा भी सवाल पाकिस्तान से जुड़ा है कि EM की विजिट के दौरान क्या साइड लाइन में कोई बातचीत पाकिस्तान की किसी प्रतिनिधि से हुई? बातचीत हुई तो उसका मसला क्या था, किन मुद्दों पर बातचीत हुई, और क्या भारत और पाकिस्तान के संबंधों को वापस पटरी पर लाने की कोई पहल भारत की तरफ से की गई है? एक सवाल और मेरा जुड़ा हुआ है, लॉरेंस बिश्नोई को लेकर आपने कहा कि उनके भी दरअसल जो गैंग के गुर्गे हैं, लोग हैं, उनको लेकर भी एक्स्ट्राडिशन की मांग हमने की है. तो ये कौन है दरअसल, और किस तरह के क्रिमिनल चार्जेस उस गिरोह पर है जिसको लेकर हमने मांग की?
सर ब्रह्म प्रकाश हूँ न्यूज़ इंडिया से। मेरा सवाल है कि कनाडा के प्रधानमंत्री ने जिस तरह से मीडिया में कहा है कि G20 के दौरान भारतीय प्रधानमंत्री के समक्ष उन्होंने निज्जर हत्या मामले की बात की थी और भारतीय प्रधानमंत्री ने उनसे कहा था कि कनाडा में कुछ लोग हैं जिनको वो गिरफ्तार होते हुए देखना चाहते हैं। तो कितने लोग हैं भारत की लिस्ट में? क्या जो अभी आपने नाम बताया वही लोग हैं जो भारतीय प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा जिनको अरेस्ट होते हुए देखना चाहते हैं? कितनी है उनकी संख्या? थैंक यू।
Okay, first Sudhi, I'll come to your question on, I just confirmed that yes, this particular gentleman, he is not part of the Government of India setup. He's not an employee. Beyond that, I don't have anything to share with you. Regarding people who've gone to the United States, I would say that these are members of the high-level inquiry committee that had been set up in November of 2023 to look into the inputs that were shared with us by the US, and we have been telling you that we have taken these inputs very seriously, and we remained engaged with the US side on this particular matter. Two members of the high-level committee, they've traveled there and they've held meetings with the US side. So that is what I have to share with you. Siddhant, on Pakistan, we had, when our external affairs minister was to travel to Islamabad for SCO meeting, we had made it very clear, we had issued a statement that a press release rather, that this particular visit is for SCO head of government meeting. Beyond that, in Islamabad, you would have seen the only bilateral meeting that our external affairs minister had was with Mongolia. Other than that, there were some pleasantries which were exchanged on the sidelines of the meeting, especially during lunch and dinner. That is all that we have to say about his visit as in relation to the question that you asked. Krishna Mohan ji, on State Department's comments, I did mention when I was answering Ayushi's question that as regards the allegations, we have, you would have seen PM Trudeau's own admission yesterday would indicate the value. As regards our stance on the allegations, we will naturally reject false imputations against our diplomats. So that is our response to your question on the comments of the State Department. मधु, आपने सुना मैंने कि पाकिस्तान में SCO के साइडलाइन में क्या बातचीत हुई? SCO के साइडलाइन में जो एक बायलैटरल मीटिंग हुई मंगोलिया से हुआ, उसके अलावा कोई और मीटिंग नहीं हुई, कोई पुलसाइड मीटिंग भी नहीं हुई। जो औपचारिकताएं होती है, इनफॉर्मल बातचीत, कर्टसीज जो होता है वो हुआ, वो खाने के दौरान, भोजन के दौरान। उसके अलावा वहाँ पर पाकिस्तानी साइड से किसी और तरीके का कोई बातचीत नहीं हुई। लॉरेंस बिश्नोई के बारे में, लॉरेंस बिश्नोई के गैंग और अन्य गैंग के बारे में, सिंडिकेट्स के बारे में हमने कनाडा से कई साल पहले और हाल में भी उनको बताया है, उनसे प्रोविजनल अरेस्ट का रिक्वेस्ट किया है। अब तक उन्होंने इस पे कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया है, ना कोई अरेस्ट किया है। और हम लोग तो बार बार ये बात कहते रहे हैं कि इतने सारे लोग जो जिनके बारे में आपको बताया जा रहा है, जो एंटी इंडिया एक्टिविटीज़ वहाँ करते हैं, जो अलगाववादी ताकतों को जो बढ़ावा देते हैं, उसके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए। लेकिन उन्होंने अभी तक इस मामले पर फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच के मामले में को आगे लाके वो कहते हैं कि ये फ्रीडम स्पीच का मामला है, हम इसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते। ये बेबुनियाद है, हमारे तरफ से ये बेबुनियाद है। उन्होंने कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया जो हमारे कोर कंसर्न्स है उस पर अभी तक, और उसके पीछे एक राजनीतिक मंशा भी है जो आप जानते हैं। ब्रह्म प्रकाश, आपका सवाल G20 के दौरान से अब तक मैंने कहा, जो हम लोग अपने प्रेस व्यक्ति में भी कहा है कि कनाडा जो है हमारे ऊपर एलिगेशंस लगाता आ रहा है, लेकिन आज तक किसी प्रकार का एक खर भी जो कहते हैं वो उस प्रकार का कोई सबूत आज तक उन्होंने नहीं दिया है। आपके सवाल में कुछ और भी था?
मेरा सर सवाल ये था कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ने उनसे कहा था कि कनाडा में कुछ लोग हैं जिनको वो अरेस्ट होते देखना चाहते हैं, तो उसको लेकर कितनी संख्या है जो भारत के पास?
देखिए, आपने देखा होगा कि पिछले कुछ महीनों में और पिछले साल और उससे पहले भी किस प्रकार की गतिविधियां वहां पर कई एक शहरों में चलती है। हमारे लीडरशिप को लेके वहां पर एंटी इंडिया एक्टिविटीज चलती है, और जब भी ऐसा कुछ होता है तो हम लोग वहां के सरकार से ये रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि आप सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई कीजिए, क्योंकि ये अलगाववादी ताकत, ये वायलेंस जो हमारे खिलाफ है, इसको बढ़ावा नहीं दिया सकता है। ये हमारे रिश्तों के खिलाफ है, ये हमारा कंसर्न है, सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न है, ये हमारा सुरक्षा का कंसर्न है उस पर, लेकिन आज तक उस पर कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया गया है। Shall we go ahead? Gautam?
So thank you. This is Gautam Vaidi. Question regarding Bangladesh. That today afternoon, Bangladesh International Crime Tribunal has issued an arrest warrant against Sheikh Hasina and others, and asked the authority to produce her in front of the court next month. So, what will be the India's stance on this issue? And secondly, there are many reports are coming out in Bangladesh that whether Sheikh Hasina is in India or left India, came back to India, and India government has given a travel document. So how far, whether any status of Sheikh Hasina has changed, or as she on her request or on a short notice she is staying here, where the same status is continuing?
Hi, so this is Jugal here from BBC. So connected to Bangladesh, so yesterday the government there has issued an order cancelling several national holidays, including the March holiday, which is Father of the Nation Bangabandhu's birth anniversary. In general, what is the comment that India would like to make on the current situation in Bangladesh? And along with that, any update on the visa operations of the Indian High Commission there? Whether they continue to remain suspended, and is there a review likely of that? Thank you.
जयप्रकाश।
सर, मैं जयप्रकाश हूँ दैनिक जागरण से। सर, मेरा सवाल कनाडा को लेकर ही है।
किसके?
कनाडा से संबंधित ही है। अमेरिका, ब्रिटेन और ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने भी एक तरह से कनाडा का समर्थन किया है, और ये तीनों देश हमारे स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर भी हैं। क्या हम इनसे बात कोई कर रहे हैं सर इस मामले में?
Yeah. Oh yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. Sandra from DW. Question with regard to the US State Department briefing on Monday evening. With regard to the India-Canada row, the spokesperson said that the US would like to see India to take the allegations of Canada seriously, and that they would like to see India cooperating with Canada. What's your response to that? Because both is implying you are not on both accounts.
Okay. कनाडा पे और सवाल है तो एक साथ पूछ लीजिए, वही सवाल पूछ रहे हैं आप लोग। ओके।
सर, विजयलक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से। सर, कनाडा में भारतीय मूल के काफी लोग रहते हैं, और अब जिस तरह का क्राइसिस दोनों मुल्कों के बीच में चल रहा है, जो भारतीय समुदाय के लोग हैं, काफी डर है, काफी लोग वो उसको एक्सप्रेस भी कर रहे हैं। उनके सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी के कंसर्न्स को लेकर इंडियन गवर्नमेंट कुछ कर रही है या कुछ उसी पर?
ठीक है। कनाडा।
हेलो सर, नीरज हूँ न्यूज 18 इंडिया से। दोनों देशों के बीच जो संबंध खराब हुए, दोनों देशों ने एक दूसरे को राजनयिक वापस आ रहे, अपने देश लौट रहे हैं। इस बीच वीजा एप्लीकेशन, वीजा का जो प्रोसेस है, उसमें अब किस तरह उसे कैसे प्रोसेस करेंगे दोनों हाई कमीशन?
हाँ ऋषभ।
Sir, Rishabh from Times Now. So just a connected question with what Neeraj asked. Is India looking at visa process and OCI cards of people who are anti-India, belonging to Indian origin in Canada, Will there be any action on that front as well? And one more question, sir. There have been repeated threats to airlines in last 1 week. There have been, in a similar pattern, such threats coming in from SJF as well. Has the government of India spoken to US or pushing it to take action against SJF on that?
Okay, let me finish this. Any more Canada questions? But don't repeat the same question, please. Huh? Sudhi, you already asked a question. Let me give the chance.
I didn't ask Canada, sir.
Okay. See, I will.
Sir, Shruti again from Bloomberg. Thank you for allowing me a second question, sir. I just want you to give us an understanding on the economic relationship. Earlier in the briefing, you talked about the Canadian pension funds. There is,
okay,
if not a big but a very strong economic relationship with India buying a lot of stuff from Canada, and similarly with Canada. Does this relationship get affected? Has Government of India done any kind of an assessment?
Okay. Any more Canada? Don't ask the same question.
सर कादम्बरी शर्मा फ्रॉम एनडीटीवी सुरक्षा के मद्देनजर 6 राजनयिकों को वापस बुलाया गया है तो बाकी जो वहां पर हैं राजनयिक उनकी सुरक्षा को लेकर क्या पहले की तरह कुछ सर्विसेज काउंसलर वीजा सर्विसेज बंद कर दी जाएंगी और दूसरा सवाल ये कि जिस तरह का बयान यूके और यूएस की तरफ से आया है तो कोई इस पे आगे दोनों अपने जो अलाइज हैं उनसे बैठकों की भी कोई बात है बातचीत की कोई बात है
Let me come back. We'll pull all the Canada questions again together. Otherwise, I'll lose my train of thought. On Bangladesh, Gautam, yes, we've seen some reports which have recently come in. Other than that, I don't have any comment to offer. On the stay of the former Prime Minister, I had earlier mentioned that she had come here at a short notice for safety reasons, and she continues to be. Jugal, your question was regarding visa. Limited visa operations are on. Limited visas for medical reasons, emergency reasons, etc. are being given by our High Commission. As and when law and order situation improves and the situation becomes conducive for us to have full operations of a visa, we'll do that. The other situation I would like to highlight that we had issued some statements during the Puja celebration. We saw there was violence against the minority community, against the Hindu community. There was violence against Puja Pandal. We call upon the interim government that assurances that they have given for protection of minority rights, for those must be implemented and so that people can feel safe. जयप्रकाश, आपका सवाल कनाडा हमने देखा है कि और सब जो हमारे सहयोगी देश हैं, यूके है, यूएस है, कनाडा, न्यूजीलैंड, उन्होंने भी कुछ बयान दिए हैं रूल ऑफ लॉ को लेके. इनफैक्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ तो 2+ डायलॉग हमारा हुआ 2 दिन पहले यहाँ पर, और जहाँ तक एलिगेशंस की बात है उस पर हम लोगों ने अपनी दृष्टि, अपना पोजीशन बड़ा क्लियर किया है. इस मामले में उनसे बातचीत नहीं हुई. Your question, I had already mentioned what we had to say in response to the comments made by the State Department that India should take it seriously. I would like to repeat again, as regards the allegations, PM Trudeau's own admission yesterday would indicate the value of these allegations. As regards our stance, we will naturally reject false imputations against our diplomats. विजय लक्ष्मी जी, वहाँ पर करीबन 17 लाख 18 लाख भारतीय मूल के लोग रहते हैं. उसमें बहुत सारे लोग भारतीय नागरिक भी हैं. उनका सुरक्षा अहम है. वहाँ पर रहने वाले लोगों की सुरक्षा वहाँ के सरकार के हाथ में है और हम लोग का ये अपेक्षा है कि वहाँ की सरकार उनको सबको सुरक्षित रखेगी. नीरज, वीज़ा के मामले में हालात थोड़े अभी ठीक नहीं हैं, जैसा कि आपने देखा, और हम लोग ने बताया भी है कि जो अभी जो क्राइसिस चल रहा है उसके खास जिम्मेवार जो ट्रूडो सरकार है वो है, उनकी जो बेसलेस एलिगेशंस है वो है। तो जैसे कि मैंने बताया, एंड आई वुड लाइक टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश सो दैट अदर्स आल्सो कैन टेक नोट। We have India-Canada economic ties are robust and strong. We have a large diaspora resident in Canada. Our students form the largest cohort of international students in the country. Several and large Canadian pension funds are invested in India, and Canada is a major beneficiary of these linkages and ties. The current crisis in the relationship has been precipitated by Trudeau government's baseless allegations. जो हमारे नीरज वहाँ पर लोग हैं अभी, वो वीज़ा के मामले को जितना वीज़ा प्रोसेस हो सकता है वहाँ से उस पर वो चलेगा। जो हमारी लोग वहाँ हैं, डिप्लोमेट्स हैं, हमारी कॉन्सुलेट है, वो उस काम को करेंगे, इस पर कोई रोक नहीं है। Rishabh, your question whether we will take action against people who are indulging in anti-India activities, etc. I would like to say we will continue to take all necessary action and steps to ensure our national security. So that will be my answer to you. You also had another question regarding. Sorry. We have seen in the last, there have been several bomb threats, including by the organization that you mentioned, and each time we have raised this matter, we have conveyed our security concerns with the American side, and because if you don't check such irresponsible actions, there will be serious ramifications. We have been, as I told you, we have been regularly sharing our concerns regarding threat to aviation. We hope the American side, US, will take strong action against those who, by word or deed, endanger the lives of people. It's important to underline these things because we've seen the kind of bomb threats that have been happening in the last few days. Sudhi, on the economic relationship, I gave you our point of view. कादम्बनी सुरक्षा को लेके मैंने बताया कि वहाँ पर बहुत सारे हमारे लोग हैं, उनका सुरक्षा वहाँ के सरकार के हाथ में है, उनको सुरक्षित रखे। जहाँ तक हमारा सवाल है, हाई कमीशन और कॉन्सुलेट से वहाँ के हमारे समुदाय के लोग जो भारतीय नागरिक हैं वो जुड़े हुए हैं, उनसे लगातार हम टच में हैं, तो हमारी अपेक्षा है कि वहाँ की सरकार उनको सुरक्षित रखेगी। कैन वी गो अहेड? क्या सवाल था? अभी उनसे बातचीत नहीं हुई इस पे। Okay, can we go here? Again, Canada. Please pull in all Canada questions.
Neville from Sky News. In the deposition yesterday, Prime Minister Trudeau said that Canada's policy is one nation. Does the Indian government believe that or believe him?
Okay. Here.
Thank you, sir. Dhairya Maheshwari from Sputnik. Sir, my question is regards to the testimony of Prime Minister Trudeau at the Foreign Interventions Commission. He said that he will determine the future of the India-Canada Intelligence Sharing Pact, which was signed in 2018. So would it be possible to get a comment on that? Like if that's still active, and has India, has it been to India's advantage and, in terms of the Intelligence Sharing Pact? Thank you, sir.
ओके
सर, अंकित एबीपी न्यूज से। सर, सवाल ये है कि जैसा आपने बताया कि कनाडा में कई सारे ऐसे आरोपी हैं जिनको लेकर के प्रत्यर्पण की मांग की गई है, लेकिन अब तक उनको नहीं कार्रवाई की गई। क्या भारतीय कानूनों के तहत उनकी जो संपत्ति या जो बाकी जो यहाँ कार्रवाई हो सकती है, भारत सरकार उस ओर अब तक कोई कार्रवाई की है या करने पर विचार कर रही है?
ओके, केशव।
Sir, Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. On Monday, I think the Foreign Minister of Canada, Melanie Joly, mentioned that she had a discussion with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar at some point during that day. So can you just give us a sense of whether A, that conversation happened, and what was the sense of that conversation? And Foreign Minister Jolie went on to add that all actions, including diplomatic sanctions, are on the table. So can you give us a sense of what is the Indian position regarding the comments made by the Foreign Minister? Thank you.
Rishikesh.
Hi, sir. Rishikesh from the Press Trust of India. So we have seen lots of anti-India activities from these gangs or Khalistani groups. So do we have any evidence suggesting that these people or these gangs are being funded by people living in Canada or Canadian authorities? Any?
Any more Canada? Please.
So this is Pia with the print. You had mentioned there were 26 extradition requests pending with the Canadian side. So what has stalled these requests from being resolved? Is it that Canada has asked India for further evidence or specific charges on these extradition requests? I'm just trying to understand what's the disconnect that has allowed these requests to be delayed pending for so long. And secondly, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has gone as far as to say sanctions should be applied on Indian diplomats. Any reaction?
Okay. Canada?
सर मैं संजीव त्रिवेदी हूँ न्यूज़ 24 से। जिस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के बारे में अभी कहा गया प्राइम मिनिस्टर ट्रूडो और फॉरेन मिनिस्टर के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में फॉरेन मिनिस्टर के द्वारा एक और बात कही गई थी कि सिमिलर नेचर की एक घटना अमेरिका में भी है और उसमें जो अमेरिका को सहयोग किया जा रहा है उस तरह का सहयोग हम मांग रहे हैं। कनाडा को वो सहयोग क्यों नहीं किया जा रहा है? ऑब्वियसली रेफरेंसेस गुरपतवंत सिंह पन्नू और निजर मामले को लेकर। इसके अलावा जो बातें आपकी तरफ से आई हैं और जो प्रेस रिलीजेस आपकी तरफ से आया है उसमें, और जहां अभी इस वक्त आपने ये बात भी कही कि कनाडा के साथ जो हमारे संबंध है वो काफी प्रगाढ़ है, मैं ये जानना चाहता हूं कि क्या आप ये सजेस्ट करना चाहते हैं कि ये सारी समस्या दरअसल इंडिविजुअल स्पेसिफिक है, इट्स ऑल अबाउट प्राइम मिनिस्टर ट्रूडो और उनकी जो एक वहाँ की पॉलिटिकल कंपल्शन है, लिबरल पार्टी को जितवाना है, सामने इलेक्शन है, दरअसल क्या ये समस्या की जड़ है?
ओके, कनाडा पे क्या है? चलिए बात में। So first, Sky News. Okay, so we have seen those comments of the Prime Minister Trudeau that he believes in one India policy, but so far the actions that we have requested against anti-India elements who actually go against one India, who call for dismemberment and disunity of the country, who espouse separatist ideology, no action has been taken. So, in a sense, there is a difference. There is a gap between action and words here. I have told you what we think of the matter. The area on the agreements that we have with Canada, we have several. It's a relationship which goes back several decades, and over a period of several decades, this relationship has blossomed. We have large economic ties. We have large student community, as I said. We also have a lot of financial linkages between the two countries. So it's a broad-based partnership. And as part of this partnership, to foster the partnership, we have several engagements and agreements that have been signed, including information sharing and other such related agreements. Some of them relate to 2018. These continue to be functional. These continue to be in operation. अंकित, प्रत्यर्पण वाली मामले पे एक्सट्रेडिशन 26 एक्सट्रेडिशन रिक्वेस्ट हमने कनाडा को भेजा है। अभी तक उस पर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई है। जहां तक उनके संपत्ति को कुर्की जब्ती की बात है, वो हमारे जो यहाँ पर जो अथॉरिटीज़ हैं, जो हमारे यहाँ आधिकारिक संस्थाएं हैं, वो काम उनको करना है कानून, विधिवत कानून के तहत। Keshav, your question was regarding the engagement. We have seen some, on Canada's allegations, we have seen our press releases, we have made our position very clear where we are on the kind of allegations that Canada has put. As far as the comments of the foreign minister that all issues are on the table, well, we'll see. This is an evolving situation, how things go. There are certain actions that lie in the domain of the Canadian government. There are certain actions that lie in our domain as well. So we'll see. This is an evolving situation, as I told you. Rishikesh, your question was regarding anti-India activities. Over the last several years now, we have been reminding Canada to take strong action against anti-India activities. We believe that they are being promoted there. They are being encouraged by no action being taken against them. They openly espouse violence. They openly call for separatist ideology. They undertake. You would have seen the kind of tableau that is displayed on important days. Those are surely they are not in keeping with our understanding of freedom of speech, and they are being promoted by several forces there, and for political reasons also they are being given all sorts of support. Pia, your question regarding extradition request, these are pending with the Canadian government. So, as to why they are pending with the Canadian government, I would say that you take this question to them. But so far, they haven't acted on these requests of ours. There was a question regarding sanction. Jagmeet Singh is, he's not a part of the government. So, these are his personal choices. These are his personal opinion. He can say whatever he wants. I don't have any comment on that. Sanjeev, see, there are two issues. We have an issue with Canada. It has its own context. We have certain issues with the United States. It has its own context. We are engaged with the United States with those issues, and we have, as I told you, that the members of the high-level committee, they have traveled to Washington D.C. We have had a meeting. We have shared several ideas on the kind of input that we've received. So last two questions. Yes.
सर मैं नीरज दुबे प्रभा साक्षी से सर पाकिस्तान और चाइना के प्रधानमंत्री की मुलाकात के बाद जो संयुक्त बयान आया है उसमें कश्मीर का जिक्र है। बताया गया कि कश्मीर एक ऐसा मुद्दा है जिसका ऐतिहासिक मुद्दा, जिसका हल अब तक नहीं किया गया। यूएन चार्टर के अकॉर्डिंग उसका हल निकालने की बात कही गई है, तो इस पर भारतीय विदेश मंत्रालय की प्रतिक्रिया।
Okay.
Yeah, so this is Raghavendra Verma from ZDF German television. If you can elaborate on that bomb threats to the airlines of Indian origin, do you have any update on who is behind this? There were reports of a juvenile being arrested in India for earlier, and there were earlier reports few months ago that the emails which originated from servers stationed outside India. So how serious is this? Because the air forces of foreign countries have been escorting our planes, and how has it affecting the government at that stage with the relations with how to deal with the foreign diplomacy?
So नीरज, पहले आपका सवाल कश्मीर के मुद्दे पे हमारा जो पक्ष है, हमारा जो पोजीशन है, वो आप उससे भली भांति अवगत हैं। हम लोगों ने कई दफ़ा भी यहाँ से कहा है, तो मैं चाहूँगा कि जो हम लोगों ने वक्तव्य इस मामले में दिया है उस पर आप नज़र डालें। कश्मीर हमारा है, था और रहेगा। प्रणय हंस रहे हैं, हमारा बयान है, हमारा पोजीशन है। ये किसी और को कुछ कहने से हमारा पोजीशन नहीं बदल जाता है, तो ये इस बात को ध्यान रखना चाहिए। Raghavendra, see, bomb threats are very serious issues. You would have seen in the last 24 or 48 hours, several such threats have been issued. One of our Air India flights was grounded as well. Several other aircraft also received similar threats. Our agencies, Ministry of Home Affairs and other relevant agencies, they are looking into the matter, and hopefully some arrests, I understand, have been made. Some FIRs have also been filed. When I was earlier dealing with bomb threats, I was pointed towards the bomb threats that have been given in the past by one particular gentleman whose organization is a banned terrorist organization in India. And we had raised we have been raising those issues continuously with the US side, and we hope that they will take strong action against such people. So with that, we'll come to the closure of this. This was like a test match today. Thank you very much.
Hello, how are we doing? Excellent, very good. I am thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to be talking about the topic of how to make our communication memorable. So today is all about specific tips and tricks that you can use so that you can help yourself remember what you're trying to say and to help your audience remember. While I like communicating, I love hearing you communicate as well. So today is going to be participative, and I invite you to participate as much or as little as you like. So let's go ahead and get started. And you'll see by some of the imagery that I'm using, I'm trying to keep a very serious subject playful. So when I ask my students or the people I coach, what worries you the most? What